Hey bitch, and welcome back to me talking about people I hate. She is back. And are we excited? Obviously.
Riding horses is not okay.
I am honestly genuinely shocked that it has taken that vegan teacher this long to respond to my video, and she really didn't even respond. She kind of just let somebody else do all the talking for her, which...
You either stop being an animal abuser.
There's times where I really wish that I could have people mediate exactly how I'm feeling too, so I don't have to sit here behind a camera dismantling everyone's stupid arguments. But here I am. She posted this video. I'm assuming that she also uploaded this on TikTok, but as you're gonna see in a couple days when I release my new video on TikTok, I hate TikTok so much, so I cannot be bothered to download TikTok. I saw this because she uploaded it onto her Instagram. I felt like it would be kind of fun to teach that vegan teacher
Riding horses is not okay.
on equestrianism and veganism, because she can't seem to understand even the literal definition of veganism.
Being vegan is not only limited to not buying animal products. And since you are incapable of educating yourself, here's the definition of veganism. Notice how it says all forms of exploitation of, as far as is possible and practicable. Riding horses is exploitation.
First of all, I have no idea how far up your asses you guys had to go to pull out that definition of veganism, but when I was looking up the definition of veganism, I could not find any definition on Google, Bing, or Yahoo search, which really tells you a lot. That's how deep I was going, that had that definition for veganism. In fact, veganism is almost exclusively defined as the products that you consume, even though, as a vegan myself, I personally agree that veganism is a lifestyle as well, but just going in to discredit these people and show how little research they actually do. This is not the actual definition of veganism. Really shows you they do their homework, you know what I mean? Matter of fact, if you want to know what the definition verbatim of veganism is, I'll read it to you. Veganism, the practice of abstaining from animal products and a philosophy that rejects animal commodification. Also, where is this guy filming? He's like laying in his bed? God, she looks like a teacher that I would grow up hating as an adult. Being like, oh yeah, you remember Miss Lenz? You remember Miss Lenz from 2nd grade? What a bitch. I love how she's literally grading this guy too. Ethics class report card. Excellent presentation. Excellent presentation. Homie is shirtless, sitting in a bed, barely even trying to make this video, like just this half-assed video, which is clearly about me. Like, if you're gonna come at me, at least make your shit good, you know? I want to be entertained. Great vegan content, A+, 100%. Keep up the good work. Vegans supporting vegans.
Riding horses is exploitation. You're exploiting someone else's body to entertain yourself. And that is the only reason why anyone rides horses.
That's actually not true all across the board. Sure, the majority of the time are people riding for selfish reasons. Yeah, absolutely. Do people need to ride horses? No, they don't. But again, I love that they're not even addressing any of the scientific information that I laid out in my original video, which I will link below, where I literally talk about actual facts on how riding is not abusive, it does not hurt horses if you do it in the correct way. You use the correct tack, you are properly trained and have good EQ, and you also are within the weight limits and have a healthy, happy horse that is up to date on vet work. And that's what responsible equestrians should do if they want to ride. You are not abusing your horse by riding them if you fit all the criteria, and your horse will be in much better shape than if you let it wither away in a pasture or stall or paddock. It will be in a better mental shape and physical shape. It is completely abusive and not okay to leave a horse locked up in a pasture, stall, or paddock and just let them wither away. That is not okay.
You only do it for yourself, not for the horse. You can provide a horse with everything they need without riding them.
This is what blows me away about that statement, is not only is that incredibly damaging because they're saying that you should only own a horse if you are not going to ride them.
And if you can't, you should not have a horse.
First of all, not only is owning a horse the exact same level of exploitation as riding them because you're keeping a horse for your own personal gain, which we'll get into, but also it's the same thing as owning a dog or a cat or a turtle or a fish or any of these other fucking animals that vegans own. That literally this lady owns a dog. Do you not think that that's the same level of exploitation? Do you understand how much dogs roam if they're left in the wild? Do you understand what dogs eat if they're left in the wild? And you're gonna honestly sit there and tell me that keeping a dog in your house is not selfish and it's not exploitation, because it is. And again, I want to clarify, I do not consider this to be exploitation because again, these people don't seem to understand what definitions are because I don't think that they can use Google. If you look up the definition of exploitation, it's any sort of financial gain that you get from an animal. And I'm just gonna be honest, horses drain you financially, okay? I'm not getting any sort of financial gain from owning a horse or riding a horse. If anything, I'm losing money. But I can understand how some forms of riding and some forms of competition are animal exploitation. I get that. I disagree with it as well. So I understand your point there. But to say that 99% of riding is exploitation, it's just not by the literal definition of exploitation. So, moving on.
You can provide a horse with everything they need without riding them. And if you can't, you should not have a horse.
I just want to make this known because this guy doesn't seem to understand anything about equines or equine sciences or anatomy. I mean, can you even trust a guy who is laying in his bed with his shirt off, half-heartedly filming this video? Yes. By saying that riding a horse is exploitation, but people should still own horses and keep them, and that's not exploitation, because he's saying if you own a horse, you can give them everything they need without riding them. That's not true. If you want to look at it from your own personal definition, horses roam 20 to 30 miles a day in the wild, okay? You, as a vegan, cannot give your horse that kind of a lifestyle by keeping them in any sort of stall, paddock, or pasture, unless your pasture is like 50 acres, okay? So regardless of what you're saying, nobody should own horses by that logic. Nobody should own horses, nobody should own dogs, nobody should own cats, nobody should own any animals domesticated of any kind, which you do, by the way, because animals live a completely different life in the wild. So not only is this wrong by the literal definition of the word, but it's also wrong on all accounts because you guys are such hypocrites that you don't understand how flawed your logic is. By your own definition of exploitation, you're exploiting your animals, you're exploiting your dog, you're exploiting your cat, especially this lady, because I'm pretty sure that she feeds her dog a vegan diet, which is just disgusting and terrible, and I can't even tell you how awful that is. I'm honestly just baffled at the stupidity by these people.
And if you can't, you should not have a horse.
See, that type of thinking and that statement in and of itself is so unbelievably damaging because you're encouraging people to dump their animals and give them up at rescue shelters. You know why? Because nobody is going to pay $10,000+ a year for an animal at no benefit to themselves. You would not keep a dog in your house if the dog hated you and was aggressive to you, or if you never spent any time with it. You wouldn't do that. It's the same logic. You cannot give a horse the same quality of life in captivity, even if you're not riding them, as you can in the wild. So any sort of captive situation, according to their logic, for any species is exploitation. So you know what? How about no one owns animals anymore? Because that's what you're fucking saying.
You either stop being an animal abuser, or you stop calling yourself vegan. It's that simple.
I love how he thinks that he made a joke or that he got one over on you. Like, oh, you either stop being an animal abuser Bitch, you can't even understand the literal definition of what you're seriously sitting here talking about, which is veganism. You fail to see how flawed and hypocritical your own argument is. They're not even negating the actual medical facts that I laid out in my last video. That's completely off the board now.
Or you stop calling yourself vegan.
No, I'm gonna keep calling myself vegan, thanks, because that's literally what I am and that's what I've been for several years. It's actually embarrassing that this is the only rebuttal they have for me, is just by reiterating something that I already dismantled in my previous video. And what's really sad about this is there's so many people in the comment section of this who are commenting stuff like, hey, let's go to Burger King. You guys, I love killing animals. I love meat. Do you guys not see how literally in your own comment section, you are turning people away from veganism with your extremist ideas and ideologies? You guys are what harms veganism. You guys push people away from the movement. You guys harm the planet by coming out with these extremist viewpoints. You guys are the problem. Vegans like you turn people away from veganism. And I'm so sick of it. I am so sick of you guys acting like you're holier than thou and the best people to exist and you care so much about the environment, because in reality you don't. You don't care about logic, because if you did, you would do the slightest bit of research and understand that you're wrong. You don't care about veganism, because if you did, then you would stick to your own ideas and beliefs and not have pets by your own definition of exploitation. And you don't care about the environment because you're turning people away, which you can see in your own comments section. Look at all of the comments of people who are just straight up making fun of them, saying that they're gonna go to McDonald's. They don't even understand basic horse anatomy or treatment or care. They literally don't try to educate themselves on any sort of topic that they want to talk about. They're just so cutthroat and uneducated and stupid. And this is why there's so many people in your comment section talking about going to McDonald's for dinner tonight. You're hurting the environment. Anyway, guys, that's all I have to say for today's video. Thank you so much for listening to this rant/rebuttal. I had a good time. If you want to go and stop off at Shop Raleigh link, we are doing closeouts every weekend because we're completely redoing the entire company. So all of the designs that you have seen on me in the past or right now will not come back. Also, massive thanks to Coldest Water for sponsoring this video. Their link is down below as well. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Stay vegan, equestrians, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.